In this video, we're going to discuss the idea of the for loop. So a for loop is just a construct which allows us to repeat a process iteratively. In other words, we're able to perform the same action over and over and over again. So let's take a look at a couple of quick examples. So let's say we want to print some output to the screen, right? And so let's say we're going to print hello world. So if we run this, we're going to get hello world. There it is, okay. And so let's say we want to print hello world 3 times. So what we could do is just copy and paste this same statement 2 times, and that will yield an output of hello world 3 times. All right. Well, this is all fine and good, but what if we want to repeat this process 100 times, 1,000 times, or 10,000 times? Well, it would be inefficient to sit here and just copy and paste the same statement over and over and over. So what we could do is actually use what's called a for loop. And so let's take a look at that. Okay, for into I. Okay, and so what this is saying here is this integer I, which is 0, this is going to decide how many times we're going to run our for loop. So we're going to start at 0. So I++ just means update I by 1 with each iteration. And so it's going to start at 0. And then after the first iteration, it'll be 1. And then it'll be 2, so on and so forth. And so what this here is saying, okay, as long as I is less than 3, continue to execute the for loop. And so that means if we're starting at 0, we're updating by 1, we're going to have I is 0, I is 1, I is 2. And so that's going to yield 3 iterations of our for loop. And so with each iteration, anything that's between these two brackets is going to be executed. So we just have a single print statement. So we're just going to print hello world, and we're going to do it 3 times. And so let's take a look at the output. And there it is, hello world 3 times. And so we've managed to yield the same output with far less code than we had before. And I mean, we can change this value to 20. We can run that. And so this will give us hello world printed 20 times. And there it is. Yeah, hello world 20 times. And we can do this any number of times. And so let's take a look at a more practical example now. So let's say we have a grocery store which sells oranges. Now let's say this grocery store wants to keep track of the number of oranges it has in inventory. And so let's just say our store is going to start with 100 oranges, right? So we'll create a variable to keep track of that, okay? So we'll have 100 oranges, and so we can update our number of oranges by saying oranges is oranges minus 2. And so now this will update our value to 98. Now we only have 98 oranges. Okay, so let's say each transaction we just sell 2 oranges, and so let's say we do that 20 times, right? And so we're going to create a little print statement here, which is going to keep track of the number of oranges we have remaining. And so let's actually put it up here as well. Okay, and so if we run this, what we're going to get is the number of oranges after each iteration. So we start with 100, and we have 98, we have 96, and we continue all the way down to 60. And so with each iteration, our for loop is simply executing each statement in the loop body between the brackets. So each time we're subtracting 2 oranges, and we're printing the number of oranges remaining. And so this was the idea of the for loop.